Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional, the Indie Author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. This episode is brought to you by Rebecca Kearsells of the Rising Dawn series and Martin Crumbs of the Valor of Valhalla series. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. And now, let's get into the show. Warning. Listening to this episode may cause your TBRs to grow in size.
Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. I'm one of your hosts, Jay O'Brien. With me always is Triple R, our resident reader, Ryan. How you going, Ryan?
Oh, living the dream, mate. Living the dream. Not much has changed since earlier this morning when we recorded another episode. So yeah. I'm still reading my two books, The Tales of Terror and Torment by David Parkinson, I'm going to say, and R.L. Stine's Superstitious. I'm about 60% through both of those. And just trying to. They're both quite large books, not as big as David Francis's Tomb of Harren, Tomb of Horror.
Tomb of Harren, yeah.
But yeah, getting there. So both 400 and something pages each. So yeah, getting through them.
Excellent, getting through that TBR. Yeah. Well, guys, you know the spiel. Check out our sponsors, Rebecca Kearsells, Martin Crumbs, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All their links are down below. Buy Ryan's shirt, or any other shirt, but preferably Ryan's shirt. It's probably upgraded now. It's probably upgraded. So yeah. Well, Ryan, are you ready to talk to Liam Porter?
I have never been more ready. I'm looking forward to getting into his debut book, Artful Young Rogues, and and having chat to another Australian author, the minorities, unfortunately.
Yeah, except they're all from Brisbane mainly.
Yeah, I know.
All these Brisbane authors.
Even the ones that aren't born here are still living in Brisbane.
Yeah,
so.
That's it. Just disclaimer: this podcast has no issues with Brisbane. Melbourne, on the other hand.
Yeah, we don't like you Mexicans.
Anyway, let's get into the show. Liam Porter, welcome to the show. How you going?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Oh, you know. Am I allowed to say it, Ryan, or do you have to?
$5 if you do, mate. If you do, it's $5.
Oh, my wallet's out of reach, but I will say I'm living the dream. I'll owe you one. I'll put it in the tab.
No.
So, the question we always ask, is who is Liam Porter?
I'm a high school teacher. I'm a father to three beautiful little girls who right now have had a very big day and are currently going through their routine for bedtime. And I'm now, as of November last year, an author. So I'm just a pretty good thing right now. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it's always good. The first one is always surreal.
Nailed it in one. It's been like that from the get-go. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot of questions about that because I've started reading it. I've actually started reading it. It's on my shelf. It's up there. It's up there.
Yeah, nice.
I'm working my way through it. Even though I'm not a young adult. I'm a young adult at heart, but you know.
That's good. When I wrote it, because of the age groups that I teach, I targeted mostly at teens, but I felt like it has a crossover appeal for adults as well.
Oh, 100%.
And it's one of those ones that I hope that as I bring out more, it'll grow with the audience in maturity and, I guess, darkness, I suppose.
Yeah.
Themes.
Well, it's something that at least Disney Pixar's nailed, since Toy Story. It's like, yes, fun for kids, but there's jokes in there that go over kids' heads and the adults love it just as much, you know?
Definitely. We were watching Monsters, Inc. last weekend.
Oh, nice.
And my kids, it was the first for them. I've seen it a few times, but there's always those ones that you miss in time and get a chuckle out of it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, we're going to jump into these icebreakers that we give all our guests. It's a great way to get to know the author, and it's a proven fact. We can say that it's a proven fact because we've done over 100 and something interviews, and at least nearly all the time Ryan buys the author's book, if not someone else buys it, because once he gets to know you, he wants to know your work. So that's why we do them. And Ryan, it's been a long time since we've done these actually. Because the last guest we had on was a returning guest. So,
so I believe it's your turn to go first this time.
My turn to go first. All right, Liam. I'm sure you've watched some of the show, so we're looking for pet peeves. We're looking for things that drive you up the wall. With that in mind, if you could get rid of anything in the world, what would it be?
When you say things like that, my mind goes to like the darker things, like rid the world of cancer and stuff like that. But if I was to be super selfish and go with like one of those little whimsical things, I hate people that lack patience. The ones that have all the first world problems, I just wouldn't get rid of them. I just want that side of their personality to dissipate, and so they gain a bit of patience and get a bit more grounded with what's going on in the world.
Just send them to Sydney to drive a lit down the M4. Because traffic is insane. Yesterday.
I saw someone in the car park just fully ripping into somebody, and if you just gave them another couple of seconds, it would be sweet. But they couldn't control themselves.
That's it.
Yeah, I was. I went out yesterday, and just went to get a haircut and a beard trim just down the local shopping centre. And because I've got a support worker who drives me at the moment because I'm not driving, and because I didn't realise that this weekend was Easter, because I'm not working at the moment, so every weekend's a long weekend for me. So I've completely forgot it was Easter, and it was the shopping centre was packed. So obviously there was a lot of people trying to get out of the shopping centre, but it was moving pretty frequently. We weren't sort of sitting in one spot for more than a few minutes, and there were still people on their horns, just like move on. And I'm just like, if that is your biggest problem in this world, like, come on, seriously, just relax. I'm completely on board with that.
Yeah, so much lack of patience in this world. If we all just move a bit more chill, it would be so much more smooth. Yeah. Everyone's life, I reckon, so much.
Yeah, 100%. And me and Jamie can attest, like, because we're old buggers. We can remember when we used to wait, every week for a new episode of a TV show, and now there's all the streaming services were pretty much dropping the whole season all at once, and now people have grown really impatient in terms of, like, they just can't wait for a week to watch the next episode. And like, man.
I was reminiscing the other day about when I was a kid, when I used to watch Dragon Ball Z, and you'd put the VHS on and you'd tee it up to time at 7:30, and I'd record every day, like throughout the week, and I couldn't watch it until Friday afternoon. So I'd hop off the school bus in the afternoon and I'd run home because I knew that I had a good 2 hours at least of Dragon Ball Z episodes, which was pretty much just Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time for 4 episodes, but. We got there in the end. We got a blonde dude, and he could fight. So happy days.
But if you did that nowadays, it'd be an uproar. It'd be protests, people in the streets, rioting throughout the main streets of towns, and it's just insane. Like, I mean, I'm still. There are shows where, I'm happy. We get a couple of episodes at once, but I'm kind of at this age now where I'm like, okay, cool. If it's a week, I watch certain shows once a week. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big Law and Order fan, and man, these guys take like 5 breaks a year. So, you'll get the first 3 episodes week after week, then they'll take a 3-week break. Then you'll get the next 5 episodes for 5 weeks, then they'll take a 3-week break. It's just like, I'm used to that. So I can wait. Episode week to week. And now slowly the streaming services are starting to do that again. They're not just dropping everything all at once, which is sort of giving people that patience back. But some of the younger people out there, I still see whinging on social media about not getting all of them at once.
But don't forget, Ryan, our friend Chris is 40, so he whinges more than them.
He does. You know,
At the
he's
same time,
yeah.
I was going to say that you're talking about streaming services. Even though you pay for them, they're now starting to chuck in ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you have to watch
100%.
the ads. Now, I'm like, I thought I was paying, so we didn't have to have these ads. But
Yeah. Oh, look, Prime was good up until about a year ago, and they started putting ads in between the movies and the TV show. And they're like, oh, but you can pay $2.99 extra a month and not have any ads. And I felt like saying, yeah, but for the last 5 years, I've been paying $9 a month and not having any ads.
Look,
$2.99, that's a litre of fuel.
Yeah, exactly. It is at the moment. Or sometimes if you're putting if you're putting premium in your car, that's you can't even get a litre of fuel for $2.99. But I figure like I pay for the number one, like the most expensive subscription for Netflix because I'm a big wrestling fan, so I watch all the wrestling on there. So I get that. I pay the $30 a month for Netflix. I've given up on all the others. The only other two I have Prime because purely and simply because of the shipping. The free shipping pays for itself. We use Amazon since I don't drive at the moment. We use Amazon Prime probably twice or three times a month, and that covers the fee. And the only other one I have is Disney Plus, and I've given up on all the others. I've gotten rid of 4 or 5 different streaming services because they're just doing ads, and I can just download the stuff, and not have to watch with ads. It's insane. It's insane. Like it's not free to air TV. Yeah. I don't need to see a budget direct, insurance ad 20 times per 30-minute episode.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2 is: what is something that's on your bucket list?
Oh, yeah. So one of the things on my bucket list is you can hop on an old tall ship and be part of the crew and sail various parts of the world. And there's a few that I follow on Instagram, and they just look. It's like stepping back in time. And I've got kids now. I've got missus, and life's busy. But one day, when life quietens down a bit and there's a bit more time to breathe, I would love to just hop on one of those, maybe with a few mates, and have the spiced rum at sunset, and just work all day doing some hard labour, but learning the ropes, literally. So that's something I really want to do.
I think that's a good. We haven't had anyone mention anything like that. It's normally just traveling and everything like that. But I think that'd be good. I think I suppose you'd get a better appreciation for the downtime if you're working 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours a day on the ship. To then when you can actually stop and enjoy the view and enjoy the ocean, you would just appreciate it that much more.
Oh hell yeah! When I see the videos on Instagram from up in the crow's nest or up in the rigging, and like people are going up so high and they get the most epic views, it's just I don't know, you get that wanderlust kind of sensation, and it, I don't know, I guess it calls to you a bit. So yeah, that's 100% one of my bucket lists. That, and I really want to. I've never seen snow. I really want to see the Aurora Borealis. Okay. Nice. So one day maybe go up to Lapland with the kids and the missus and go see Santa and all that kind of stuff.
See Santa. I hope he's not Mel Gibson.
My sister just got back from. She went over to see her partner who was working in Scotland overseas, and they started in London, went to Scotland, went to Finland, Sweden, Lapland. They got to see the however you say it, Aurora Borealis. She said it was absolutely amazing. So it is something on my bucket list for sure. Me and my wife's bucket list. It just looks absolutely amazing. I'd love to go up there and just check it out. I think it'd be really good.
Yeah, give us a good old solar flare. I just want to see those colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
Nice. All right, I'll bring up the next one. We have a visual aid.
Oh,
I hope you like Mount Rushmore. Because I know it's very confusing, the graph. It's like, name these presidents, but that's not what it is. That's not what it is. What it is 4 TV shows of your favorites that if you were in charge, you would slam them up on your own Mount Rushmore.
All right, so it's basically my top 4, yeah?
Yeah.
All time, 100%. This one is going number 1, and it's a long way ahead. Avatar: The Last Airbender on Nickelodeon. I just think that show is one of the best written series of all time. I don't care if it's for kids. I've watched it numerous times. My kids now know it. If I quote Uncle Iroh, they understand because he is the GOAT, best mentor character I've ever come across. And I just love the vibe of that whole series. I do like Legend of Korra. I wouldn't put that in number 2 though, but I do like where it evolved to. And second on my list, have you guys ever seen a TV series called Black Sails?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically, for the people that don't know, it's Game of Thrones meets Pirates, and it's kind of loosely based on the events prior to Treasure Island, so there's Captain Flint, and Long John Silver, but they also chuck in Benjamin Hornigold, Charles Vane, Jack Rackham, a lot of names that were big back in the golden age of piracy. That there's some really good Australian actors in there too, and it was one of those TV shows that when you watch it, I can usually guess what's going to happen next because story structures and all that kind of gear. But that show was really good with twists, and it just kept me engaged the entire 4 seasons. It came out when Game of Thrones season 3 came out, so I don't think it got the attention that it should have. Michael Bay was like an executive producer on it, and whether you like his films or not, that's beside the point. It just means it had really good effects, and it was done really well. Some really good actors in it that weren't exceptionally well known.
Yeah.
And number 3, Stranger Things.
Nice.
I really like Stranger Things a lot. I know some people might say they're controversial, but I love that old nostalgia style.
Yeah.
And a bit of synthwave music, and the Steven Spielberg methods of not seeing the creatures until well into the first season. And I like a range of genres.
Yeah.
And which takes me back to number 4 is a TV show from Australia called Mr. In Between, and it is it's about a hitman in Australia in the suburbs.
Yep.
And it's
such a good show. I love it.
You know it.
I loved it. I've watched all 3 seasons. My dad actually got me into it. He used to call the hitman Mr. Smiley because he's got that real, when he smiles, he's got that, it just looks creepy, but such a good show.
It's when I was growing up, my brother and my sister are a fair bit older than me, and my brother always said, mate, when you first start going to the pubs, it's not the big bouncers you need to be worried about if you're being rude or being an idiot. It's the smaller guys that are quite slim, but they're in that job for a reason because they know how to handle themselves, and they'll be really friendly. If they're overtly friendly to you, you've got to be careful. And I don't know if I brought that conversation up. I think my brother was just trying to give me some worldly knowledge, but at the same time, that kind of nails that character, that protagonist. Any hero is just I like how he handles himself in that show.
Oh, yeah. I was a bit late into that show. I started watching it at the end of season 2, and because my dad had watched it season 1, and then he told me about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I was working 7 days at the time, but then I started watching it, and I was like, wow, I just cannot stop watching this show. I'm a sucker for a good Australian TV show, and I've watched that show probably about 5 times all the way through. It's such a good show.
Yeah, when they don't have like special effects to fall back upon, it really comes down to the acting and the storyline. And it had, for me, there was a movie years ago with Heath Ledger, Brian Brown, Tom Long, Rose Byrne called Two Hands.
Yep.
And
classic.
you know the one? It had that vibe to it, that underworld. around Sydney, Melbourne, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was definitely kind of reignited that kind of, I don't know, that like of that kind of TV series style.
Yeah, there was. And you know what? It was a show, even though it is about, essentially it's about a hitman. It's got, it's got moments where it really tugs on the heartstrings. It's got moments where, I was just absolutely just cracking up laughing, and I just had to pause it because it was that funny. It's got serious stuff. It's got action, and it's got, I'm not a parent myself, but it's got, the third season especially, it's got, just relationship between a dad and his daughter, and his daughter's a teenager then, and she doesn't like her dad at all. And like it's got everything you want in a TV show, and I think it's really well put together. Yeah, I absolutely love it. So yeah, 100%. That would be in my top 4 TV shows.
Wait, so yeah, like four really different styles of TV series. But yeah, I can't. Avatar: The Last Airbender, I still think, even though it's for kids, there's deeper levels to that. That when you get into it, I know, I just really appreciate the writing to that story.
Yeah.
Definitely, 100%.
Don't have to worry about me. Look at my background, man. Ninja Turtles everywhere,
Oh, I grew up on them. I used to go get the pizzas, the McCain pizzas at the corner shop.
Yeah.
Just so I could get the cutout mask on the back of the box.
Our local pizza shop has a mural of them on the wall.
Real?
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is that? My mum.
Half covered now though, like the shells and stuff. It's kind of just behind it. But it's pretty cool.
No, I like that. That's sick. When I was a kid, my mum used to, she'd see me watching the shows and stuff, and she'd go, "Who's your favorite character?" And with the Ninja Turtles, my favorite character was always either Raphael or Michelangelo. I really like Raphael because he's the brooding, angry type. She goes, "Why don't you like Leonardo? He's the leader." And I said, "No, I like the angry guy. He's got sharp things in his hands. He likes to get in close." And then we watched the old 90s X-Men cartoons.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, who do you like there?" And I go, "Oh, I like Wolverine. He's got knife hands and he's always angry." She goes, "But he's like, oh, no." She goes, why don't you like Cyclops? He's the leader." I'm like, "Nah, knife hands. I want knife hands." And she's like, I think she worried a little bit about me with that.
Yeah.
But I go for characters that more, I think in the grand scheme of things, more underpowered. If that makes sense. Because I vouch for them. I can relate to them more. Maybe I was just an angry little kid and I could easily put my cutlery between my fingers and pretend.
Yeah, I think every kid liked Wolverine. Like I remember Wolverine,
I did.
When the X-Men cartoons came out, Wolverine was my favorite.
Yeah.
Even reading the comics, I still read the comics now, and I'm 44 years old, and Wolverine's still one of my favorites. He just, and plus I think it's because when the movies came out, we got an Aussie playing Wolverine, and he still plays Wolverine. All that 20, 28, 25 years later, 26 years later. But yeah, I think it's just, I always like Michelangelo because I was kind of like the yeah, pretty much, yeah. And but Raphael was a close second. So I think all the boys used to like Michelangelo and Raphael, and the girls like Donatello and all that kind of stuff. So
no, definitely for me growing up, it was all the girls liked Donatello, and that was it.
Yeah,
like no one liked Leonardo all that much, even though I think he was like, look, I like them all now. Like when I grew up, I'm going like, I like them all. Just don't give me a fifth one.
Yeah, well, they're bringing out the Last Ronin or something now.
Oh yeah,
it's one of them. All the other 3 brothers have been killed, and you don't know which one it is. I think that's the whole twist. Is you got it there.
Signed copy.
Yeah, right. Oh, nice.
Yep.
So yeah, I like that twist because I heard when it first came out, it was actually for a more mature audience. It had to be in black and white because it's quite violent.
Yeah.
And but then they realized there's probably more marketability to pitch it to kids.
They're making a game on it. Video game, God of War style, so you can switch between all the weapons. I'm like, yes. But I think they were doing a movie, but they put it on hold.
Oh, okay. I think Avatar: The Last Airbender is getting a fighting game too. I just seen
Oh,
snippets of it
nice.
in reels and stuff, and it
Okay.
looks pretty peak. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a video game player these days. I don't have a console or a computer that's good enough to play it, but I might make an exception. Like
Yeah.
for
Do up
shoot
the
for sure.
garage, make a man
Yeah,
cave.
that's it. See, one of my favorite book series of all time is The Witcher, and I've never played
Nice.
a game of it.
Oh,
Wow.
Um,
really?
yeah, and I really want to play The Wild Hunt, and I can't. And I'm a bit of a fan of Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah.
And when Space Marine 2 came out, I just
Hmm.
had to vicariously live through YouTube gameplay
Yep.
videos. I'm just like, yeah, testosterone.
Yeah.
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 But my kids will sit there and can we watch this with you? I'm like, a little bit heavy for your kids. Oh, they're just bugs. Okay, if you think of it like that, big cockroaches. So the turn is being squashed. You're like, oh, okay, take a
Yeah.
seat.
I
Yeah,
just
Yeah, I kind of went the other way with The Witcher. I played the games and then the TV show, and then I was like, okay, I want more Witcher. And then, through a Google search, I was like, oh, they're actually based on books. And then I went and bought all of the collection of the author. I think I got every book he wrote for like $25. I'm like, sweet, too easy.
oh,
So
in English.
yeah, not
English, yes,
Polish.
in English. No, not Polish. No, so they're on my TBR list, which is about 170 books strong at the moment. So I will definitely be getting to them because, yeah, I love the game. Seriously, the Wild Hunt. I was late to the party on that. Jamie and our friend Chris had played it before me, and they were like, "Oh, it's one of the few games where the main quest gets in the way of the side quest." Because the whole game was pretty much side quests. And I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. And then I started playing, and I'm like, I've been playing it for about 27 hours, and I think I've done like 2 hours of the main story. The rest of the time, I've just been
It's
playing cards and been
it's
playing
huge.
side missions. So yeah,
And there's multiple endings, and there's like the decisions you make affect the world, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Speaking of that, they re-brought out Fable.
Yep.
And my mate used to play that and kick the chickens all the time.
Yeah.
It became evil. And so, yeah, apparently that's come back out too. But I can't
Yeah.
keep up with it. The video game industry is going ballistic right now.
Yeah. I'm one of these old, like, I replay games. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2 now for like the
Yeah.
sixth time. Um and this is the first time I'm going like, you know what? I'm not rushing. Just there's nothing really good coming out now. I'm just gonna Red Dead for a little bit, you know.
I I would get, for my father who's retired now, I would 100%, this would be out of his comfort zone. He's like looking for new hobbies now. And I would get him a PlayStation, just get him Red Dead Redemption because he has always been a major fan of cowboy films.
Yeah.
Growing up with like the Rifleman, Clint Eastwood films, all those spaghetti westerns,
Yeah.
and he got me into them. And then I see the graphics of Red Dead Redemption number two
Yeah.
is just absolutely like astonishing how
Yeah.
good it is. And you going through the wilderness, and I think would he's not from that era. I don't think he'd ever pick up a controller and have a go. But I don't know. It could be something to try and share with him,
It,
and see if he
it only
sinks his
takes
teeth
one
into it.
game, man. It only takes one game. My old man got me
I can.
a Sega Master System way back when, and I'd come
Yep.
home from school and he'd be playing like Wonder Boy,
Yeah.
and that's the only game he'd play. I don't care about anything else. He's like he just played that one game, and that was his one game.
Well, there you go. That's
And
not.
that was the same with my old man. He saw me playing Fallout 3, and he's like, "Oh, this looks pretty good." Because my dad was he was always up with the technology. He had a PS3 and an Xbox and everything, and it took all it was to get him into gaming was Fallout 3. And then so I bought him the PS3. I bought him a copy of Fallout 3, and he would play it like for hours and hours and hours. Once he retired and moved away, he would just play it for hours. And it was something that we both could relate with and talk about. And then I bought him a PS4 and Fallout 4, and he's like, "No, I don't like this. I only like I only like Fallout 3." I'm like, "No, it's a big jump, but
I don't like
yeah."
change.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, one game is all it takes.
well, I think it's better than golf. I'm not a huge fan of golf. So if you guys are,
No.
I don't know. I feel
I'm a
like
fan of
getting
Happy
tired.
Gilmore.
Yes, definitely.
About it. I'm not a golfer. And my dad wasn't a golfer. He was like, he would much rather sit down and he used to build model ships and play Fallout 3. So that was his thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You need a hobby, that's for sure.
100% you do, definitely. Even me not working, like I haven't worked for the last year and a half, and even like I would be going insane if I didn't have a hobby myself. If I didn't read as much as I love to read, I would be insane.
Yeah.
Escapism is so good.
Yeah. All right. Question number 4. So what is your zombie apocalypse plan?
All right. It's funny, I teach this at school. I was doing the wind down of the term, or the lessons I give the kids, how to survive a zombie apocalypse, and they get given inventory with weights, and they got to select what they're going to take, if they're going to pack light or pack heavy. And then we give them a map of the local area. Where would you go? Work out how long you take to get there, what's the transport, and they come up with some really interesting answers. But for me personally, where we are up here, my suburb where we live is quite a little bit more remote than the other suburbs in town. So it'd be probably half decent. I know my kids would be my first priority, get my kids and my wife home and safe, but from there we could bunker down for a bit probably till a few things die down, because the roads would be hectic. In town would be a no-go zone. Shopping centres are just not the place to go, especially after things turn. But I live in Harvey Bay, and we have Fraser Island on our doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Fraser Island it's got eco-tourism there. It's got plenty of fuel generators as well. I know the island quite well. I go there with my family on our boat a lot. I'd be stuffed if the dingoes became zombies. Oh, that'd be next level, wouldn't it? But it's got freshwater lakes and lots of bush tucker. You could quite easily sustain yourself till things either died down or died out, one of the two. But we did a school camp earlier this year to Tangalooma on Moreton Island.
Oh yeah, I love to. I've been there like 6 times. Such a good place there, Moreton Island.
It was beautiful. It had the best snorkeling I've ever seen. Like, every fish I saw, I'm like, I could eat you. And there's so many fish, you never get hungry. No dingoes, so no zombie dingoes, but they also have 2 110,000 litre tanks out the back that fuel their diesel generators.
Yep.
So, and they're topped up a lot. And if it's only a few scant families creating a community out there, you would have substantial amounts of energy, air conditioning, comfort. You could live there probably end of your days. So, yeah, that would be my go-to. Get down there via boat, or go to Fraser Island via boat once things die down. I don't know. It's funny. We live in Australia, and I got a lot of mates that live out our way. Well, I used to do Army Reserve, and so that's how I knew them. And so, yeah, I'd dare say that it'd be like you could almost create like a little section community where you can harbour up and have your own, like, I don't know, people that know what they're doing to train other people. So you create like a small fighting force to move around and stay safe with as well. Travel, like, safety in numbers. And I know for a fact those lads have got their licenses, and I know firearms are not too popular in Australia, but we know how to use them. So, yeah. And I've got a cool sword out the back, so. Yeah.
Cool sword.
Just use it, maybe. Who knows?
Like rifle in one hand, sword in the other.
Yeah. I find a reason to dress up like medieval times, even though the Queensland heat would cook me alive. But I'll be a frying pan inside.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
All right, the last question. I'm assuming you know Back to the Future.
Yes.
Yes.
Doc.
We have to check sometimes because there are people out there that are like, I haven't met any yet though, but you never know on this
No,
podcast.
I
You
was
never
born in
know.
1985. I was raised in that kind of stuff.
Oh, nice. You're born the year the movie came out. That's great. Um, all right. Well, Dr. Emmett Brown leaves his DeLorean parked in your driveway. Where or when are you going?
Oh, there's so many selfish things I could do. And there's so many like ones where you think you're the main character with a bit of plot armor. You could go back and fight like the Third Crusade with Richard Lionheart or something cool
Hmm.
like that. And there's parts of me that would go, hey, I'd really like to visit myself as a kid and tell myself, chin up, mate. Things are good. You'll be right. Appreciate this, appreciate that. Find that girl. Um, but there's also parts of me that are like, oh, I could be a sandwich vendor in the streets that stops the guy from going and killing Archduke Grand Ferdinand, or have a bit of a quiet chat in the alleyway with a guy with a very small mustache who got kicked out of art school in Germany, or pull a fire alarm early at the Twin Towers over in New York. Is it New York? No. Yeah, yeah.
New York. Yeah.
And avert the crisis. You know what I mean? There's parts of me want to do that, but there's other parts of me go back and slap a T-Rex just to see how long you survive. Did they really make that noise? All the scientists and archaeologists and paleontologists all kind of just making stuff up as they go. I don't know. There's so many things you could do, and it's hard to come up with one. But yeah, I'd probably try and avert some major crisis, even though it'd probably stuff up my timeline completely. I'm not Bishop in the X-Men. I can't go back and fix things.
That's it. No, well, there's a episode of Supernatural where an angel went back in time and stopped the Titanic from sinking because he hated the movie. And then so
Rose was just whinging about losing a frozen necklace that everyone sacrificed themselves for.
Yeah.
Jack could have put one on that door.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But the ramifications was all these people were just getting like randomly being killed, like hundreds of them and all that stuff. And it turned out that this spirit called Fate was going around knocking off all the people that should not exist because of everyone that survived the Titanic,
What a sport. That's like that Final Destination.
Yeah.
Stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's twisted.
Yeah.
He'd have his work cut out from him if he averted World War One. That's for sure.
Yeah. And imagine if it was like an oversight and no one noticed, or like fate or death didn't notice until like 2026, and it'd be like, oh man, you have to go through all those different, there's at least like 2 to 3 generations.
Yeah.
At least 3 generations, I would say, that they have to go, and then their offshoots and their offsprings, and oh man, it'd just be
He's got to talk to his manager about the oversight.
So.
He's like, how did we miss this? How did we miss this?
I look away for a second. I turn back. He took long service leave. That's all it was.
That's it. All right, wonderful. So you've passed the icebreakers. Now we're on to the fun stuff. Look, we've mentioned comic books a little bit throughout this. So in the spirit of that, what's your author origin story?
Author origin story. I've always enjoyed English. I'm an English teacher and a PE teacher. That's my trade. But I've always kind of done short stories and written. But when my daughter was born, a few months after she was born, she didn't sleep very well. And I used to walk her in the rental room in the dark for a very long time, hours on end. And when you're that sleep deprived, you just kind of, I daydream to kind of pass the time and keep myself awake. And I started daydreaming a lot, night dreaming, and I love an underdog story. And I really wanted to I was coming up with an idea. What would be the most underdog thing? Having a kid that would be used as bait, live bait for hunting sea monsters was my premise there. And over time, I thought up an opening for a novel, and I thought of how to do a finale, and I wanted to know the process for in between. And so I took it up. That was my hobby. That was a way of past time. And so I thought, I've just finished reading The Lies of Locke and Mora by Scott Lynch. I really like that. I really like roguish characters with charm that don't rely upon brawn to kind of overcome the issues. They got to think their way out of things. And so I thought I'll just start writing and see where it goes. And I did, and I probably got about 100 or so pages in, and life got busy. So bub number 2 came along in 2018, and I put the book on the back burner. And so I thought, I'll just sit there, no worries. And then I had a health scare shortly after, and with the health scare, I thought, if I drop tomorrow, what are my kids going to remember me by? And there was a great Andy Warhol quote that, how quotes sometimes find you?
Yeah.
You just come across them at the right time. I read an Andy Warhol quote that was, the idea isn't to last forever, but to create something that will. And I thought I could work on this book that I was writing on, and if I got it finished, when my kids miss me when I'm gone, they can pick it up, and it's like Dad's reading the story again. And all the messages that I wanted to pass on to them could be kind of woven into the storylines. And so it's not so overt, but it's there. It's an influence, an inspiration. And so I picked the book up and I read it again, and I was like, if I like it, I'm going to continue it. And I did. I really liked it. It was a story that I wanted to write for me and my kids. I didn't think about target audiences. I didn't think about much beyond the kids that I was helping with at school and helping them to learn to read. Like I was often encouraging kids to read John Flanagan's The Ranger's Apprentice and stuff like that. Kids that liked fantasy but were having a hard time finding something to help them with their English skills. And so I thought, well, heck, I'll keep this going. And I did. I knuckled in. I learned. I put way more effort. I shouldn't say this. I put way more effort into honing my craft as a writer and learning about how to be a better writer than I did into my own uni degree. I reckon I was just, every time I was driving, I was listening to Hello Future Me, which is Timothy Hickson, and I was listening to Brandon Sanderson lectures, and I was reading about from stuff written by Douglas Adams and John Marsden about writing and stuff, like some really old books as well. And so I was applying that to my craft, and over time I got it done. And I had a mate at school who was a very good English teacher, best English teacher I've ever come across. And I said, you reckon you'd mind critiquing my work and tell me if I've got something here, or, because he was also quite, brutally honest. And he said, yeah, dude, just pass it over and I'll give it a look over. And he critiqued it, and he got another lady who used to be a critique partner for a thriller writer, Leslie, and she read it. And she called me up and we had a 2-hour conversation about the whole thing. And she was that pumped. She says, you need to pursue this. This is good. And so that doubt that I had in my head, like, can I make this work, subsided enough for me to actually, okay, beta is professional edit. I'll save up and do that myself, and throw my hat in the ring. And so I did that. I threw my hat in the ring a few times with traditional publishers that were taking unsolicited manuscripts. And I did all right with, I think, with New Dawn over in Perth, but it's a slow process as well. And so I'm quite impatient. I told you I hate impatience, but after a year and a half or 2 years of waiting on feedback, you kind of get a bit, I don't know, things happen. So my mum passed away last year, and she didn't get to read it because I didn't get it done in time. So I thought, you know what, stuff it, I'm going to knuckle down and do it myself. And so I educated myself on how to self-publish, and I went through that process. And that's how it came to be. So 8th November last year, it was released.
Awesome. Yeah, I went hybrid on one of my books, and then they went bankrupt. But like, even then, from getting the manuscript, it took like a year, like just over a year for them to release it. And I was just sitting there going, "Where's my book? I want my book. Where's my book?"
Yeah.
And that's why indie is just it's great to be in control, and you can get it out as quick or as late as you want.
You nailed it. It's my old man said to me that it's probably the best move for me because I like to control things to an extent. I got a really good cover artist that I really liked, Decky from overseas, Indonesia, and he was fantastic. he's currently doing the artwork for the sequel because he's getting really popular right now. And I thought I better get him now before he becomes too busy. But at the same time, like I can spruik it and contact bookstores myself and have that element of control. And I've been getting good feedback. And like just this week, the Montville bookstore, the Mulaney bookstore, they purchased 5 copies, and Laura's been really nice. I reached out to her, and she reached out back, and we had a bit of conversation. So it's a nice feeling when you get those support. The bookshop on the way down in Melbourne, and I've got Fables and Froth and Hardy Bay. Like bookshops around the place are starting to get it, and it makes me feel. I don't know. I guess there's a sense of validation in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely. And I think I've said this on the podcast previously, but I think we're living in a great time for independent for you to independently publish your book. With Amazon and all the other outlets that allow you to have that control over what you publish. And like Jamie said, you could have a year where you publish 5 books, or you could have a year where you publish no books. It doesn't matter. You're not on a specific deadline. You can take as long as you like to perfect and write the book that you want to get out. And then you've got all that control, like you say, with the cover artist, with when you want to bring it out, how widely you want to distribute it. I think it's a really good time to be an indie author, with all the different avenues that you guys have got.
Yeah, it's also get told to change your plot that you've created to suit what's popular at the time.
Yeah.
Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I suppose it wasn't. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, no, if I do it myself, I can do it right. And there's something to be said about the business side of things. Like it's how people talk about side hustles and all that kind of gear. Yeah. It's kind of it stokes the fires a bit, gets you feeling a bit excited. Like you make it. I got a Shopify web store, and when I get the sound of a cha-ching or whatever, then I know I've sold a book. We do, the kids and I and the missus, we all do a little dance, like it's a little bit of excitement for the evening of the day. And when it first came out, it had a lot of hype, and it was going off quite a lot. The kids are going, "Oh, again!" And I'm like, "How good?" Like it's great. And there was a lot of support with that, which is great.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So did you just go through Amazon, or did you go Ingram Spark as well, or?
So I did Ingram Spark.
Yeah.
Specifically because I really like hardcovers. I know there's people out there that love the paperbacks, but I love a hardcover.
Yeah.
And I like the concept of having global distribution on the get-go, which is good because I've been able to reach out to stores in America, in UK, and I can see on my account that there's books being purchased, and they don't necessarily get back to you, but they're being purchased in those countries, and then even Finland, and then when a bookstore is quite far away, like Hearth and Quill in South Australia, they can order it when they want, and I felt like that gives an element of control there. Yeah. So I thought that was good. I like being able to just say, hey, this is it, 55% wholesale, whatever, and go through the motions, and they've got access to it when they need it, or they can go through me if they want signed copies. So that's one of the big ones there too. Amazon scared me a bit though, because when it first came out, paperback price just went through the roof, and I was like, oh, I get $1.70 and they get, whoa, okay, yeah, plus shipping, and I was like, so I thought I'll do it on my own website and have that element of control again, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because Amazon in some instances the author copies are cheaper when you order them than Ingram, but it just depends on what you've got. I sell more on Ingram Spark than Amazon. I think I haven't sold anything on Amazon for like 2 months.
Gotcha. I did do KDP. Not KDP. What is it? Kindle Direct. Just for getting it onto other e-readers.
Yeah.
But that was at a request of a few people because they had Kindles, and I was like, oh, okay. Might as well. But to each their own. Everyone's got that different process. Hey, but I suppose I stuck it in mostly because of the hardcover. That's what sold me.
Yeah. They do really good hardcovers. I got nearly all my books on hardcover. They're just so good. They turn out so good,
Yeah, Yeah, and when you get that first copy in your hands, hey, it's that
Yeah.
magic moment. Like my kids would be sobbing when I open it up. I think I have a video on my Instagram, and they're like, "What's that?" And I went, "That's a book. You know how I've been up at night time typing? Like that's Dad's work." And they're like, "Oh wow, that's like a lot
Yeah.
of pages." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a lot of pages. Can I have a copy?" "Yep, I'll give you a copy." And it's just, I don't know. I love the fact that they'll have that keepsake and
Yeah.
they can stick in their
Yeah,
shelves and it won't be out of place.
Yeah. That's awesome.
100%.
Well, let's do the thing and bring up the cover. Uh, look at that. So, what's the story behind the cover? Is this something that you I mean, you mentioned you got an artist, but did you design it yourself or did you give ideas? Like what was the process like?
So I did a brief sheet for him, and I chucked in. I found Jackie Shitten Scarab Studios Volume 2 is the name of his thing on Instagram. I saw his work. I reached out to him via Instagram messages and just testing the waters, and he contacted me back. I'm a sucker for old engraving style artworks and etching style artworks. I always think things that would look sick in a tattoo, so to speak. And he had this really cool style. He's um, so much detail. And I looked at a whole bunch of his stuff, and so I gave him, mate, this is what my story's about. This is the colors I like. This is a couple of elements I'd like to see, but really, these are covers I like as well from other books. But I don't want to stifle your creativity.
Yeah.
So if you come up with a draft and send it through, we'll work from there. And he was so patient and understanding, and he was really good. And so now he's working on the second cover as we speak. So I like looking at it and seeing like all the little elements in
Yeah.
it, from like the skulls to the flintlocks to the swords and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be on a ship. You know, you got the anchors, you got the. I mean, is that a kraken? Are we looking at a kraken?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Kraken, like characters use this bait. Um,
Yeah.
and I really want, because it's a very character driven novel, I really wanted to have the main character kind of front and center in the middle of the book cover art. So that's I think he nailed the brief 100% from the
Yeah.
get go. My kids are coming in and they're watching because they want to see what's going on, and they're all a bit curious. Come over, don't be shy.
Say hello.
Give
Hello.
them one.
Did you know we're in the future?
You know we're in the future. Hey, I've got earbuds and
Oh,
they can't
that's
hear
right.
you.
Just tell them we're in the future.
We're in the future right now. I think they're recording. You want to say goodnight? All right, good night. Good night. I'm asleep. I'm asleep, hey? There you go. Yeah, so that's Isla and Eden. That's two of my daughters, and the youngest one, she's currently asleep. She's a bub. She's 18 months old, and she is a climber, and she gets into everything right now. So I've had to take the handles off a bunch of drawers around our house because she just uses step ladders up all the furniture, and she's got a bit of a habit lately of trying to swan dive off. She's no fear, so she's got a bit of a habit of swan diving off the furniture, and then you think she'll learn from the mistake, but then I think she realizes there's a bit of element of fun to it.
Yeah.
She likes seeing the parents scramble across the kitchen to try and catch them.
It's a
Yeah,
game. It's a game.
it is a game. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, but
So,
that cover, with the second brief that's coming through now, it's going to take a bit of a turn. But I really wanted to use Decky for the sequel because I like to keep that consistency
yeah.
and the same vibe. But yeah, the next one I hope is going to be, I'm 100% certain it will be, but a good continuation. So they'll look good on a shelf together. If anybody likes the hardcovers that look good from a distance
Oh
or up
yeah.
close.
Oh yeah. So tell us a little bit about the story. What's inside? What's it about? I mean, I know because I've started reading it, but the people listening probably don't.
Yeah, it's the classic underdog tale. It's all character driven, but it's about a young bloke that's used as life bait for hunting sea monsters, which sucks for him. And he's basically a prisoner of war. held by this the foreign opposing forces, which are called the regime. And a few things happen, and he finds out his father's alive, and he sets out to basically break his father out from an enemy-held prison, a gulag, well deep in the enemy territory, with the help of a mysterious girl that he meets along the way. So it's action, adventure, fantasy, with quite a few steampunk elements. There's airships and pneumatic crossbows, all that kind of gear. But I try to have a mixture of humour and self-deprecating humour mostly, and a lot of action. And I still want to have that emotional moments mixed in as well to kind of mix up the pacing and variations. So, yeah.
That's cool. Well, you did mention, making it for everyone, like kind of like a family thing where, a lot of those classic Disney movies and that have those emotional elements as well as laughters and I think it's just that's how I like to tell stories. Like even though some of my stuff's pretty dark, I like to put quips and lighten the mood at some point.
Yeah, when I read fantasy books, I get into them, but if they don't have that element of humour here and there, I find I don't connect with them as deeply. Terry Pratchett is a writer that I always liked his work. I don't think I could ever match it, but there was another writer called Robert Asprin, and he was around in the late 70s, early 80s, and I was given one of his books when I turned 12, and he had the mentor-student dynamic. The mentor was providing the exposition when it's needed, but it had a lot of humour to it, and that humour kept me engaged, even in the dark moments. So that was something I wanted to transfer across, but I had to find my own style. So as I wrote it, I felt like I nailed my style over time.
Yeah. So is it going to be like a trilogy or like a series or like what's your plans?
Yeah, so I want to have a trilogy, plus maybe a couple of anthologies of like the adventures
Yeah.
in between. But right now I'm past halfway writing the sequel. Ideally, I'll have that out and ready to be launched by the end of this year. And I've been outlining the third novel as well. And so what I want to happen is I want the series to grow with the audience, but I want the series to grow with the characters as well. So the maturity levels will probably change as we go along. There's always going to be that immature humor.
Yeah.
That's just me, but I'll find that amusing, and hopefully the readers do too. But yeah.
So kind of like Harry Potter because he grew up, didn't he, in all the books?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another one I think of is How to Train Your Dragon in the movies, how Hiccup grew.
Definitely, yeah. Hiccup, I like that character a lot.
Yeah.
That, yeah, there you go. Another character that had to use his brains and stuff like that to kind of adapt in a world of brawny people. It's like that.
Cool. So where'd the idea come from? Like, what was some of your inspirations behind the story?
Okay, so I grew up between Brisbane and the Gold Coast a lot. My family had a unit down the coast. And there's moments like thessalphobia, I think they call it, where you're surfing or you're out in deep water and you look under and you can't see the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought, that's what was down there. I saw a documentary the other day about megalodons. I wonder if they still exist. They don't know.
Yeah.
They leave you hanging.
Yeah.
And I've been out surfing when there's been sharks before, and that always played in my mind. So that gave me the idea of that underdog feeling. That I went surfing one time. I was the only one out. It was raining. I ditched uni for the day, and I went down the coast because I heard the surf report. I could have turned left and been stuck in traffic all the way, bumper all the way to uni, or I could turn right, get a clear run down the Gold Coast and have the day to surf. And so I chose to surf, and I went down there, and there's two tradies out, and they're on their boards, I'm on my board, and they caught the wave in after this smoke, and I spin over. So here I am by myself, out the back, overcast, that oily surface on the water, and just as I'm starting to realise, I'm pretty alone here, a school of fish started jumping around me, and I saw a dorsal fin and a tail fin. It's when you see the tail fin and the dorsal fin, you're like, That's not a dolphin. Those things are really far apart, and I'm really alone right now. I couldn't shrink up on the board enough, and so I just, as calmly as I could, turned around and paddled back in. Just moments like those, like there's a bunch of them.
Mm.
And then over the years, I've always enjoyed like sneaking into places. I probably shouldn't say this. This is incriminating. You can cut that out.
Allegedly, just say allegedly.
Allegedly, but like that adventure, that excitement of like being sneaky and underhanded to do things and stuff like that. And also over time with when I had my other job with Army Reserve, like a lot of action in that. It was training, and that inspired quite a few scenes as well. And so there's always elements of my life that are woven into that tale. And my wife has read scenes, and she's like, if someone knows you, they can pick up on those moments. Like, that's it's definitely one of those things. Like, a whole bunch of those things inspire the story. But I'm also influenced by, I guess, a lot of good stories over time. I put a lot of effort into understanding Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. And so that helped me structure the tale instead of just having a bunch of random scenes. It helped me structure it all together and nail it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So would you say that you're like, what's your plotter to pantser ratio? So like, flying off your, the seat of your pants, or are you like very strategic?
So when I first started, I was a sheer pantser, and it was to my detriment because I deleted so much. So many scenes that I just like copy paste in separate files. I might use that one day, and I realized I need to outline if I want this to work. And so, I probably pantsed a good half of it, and then I woke up and thought, no, I've got to do an element of outlining. I'm no Stephen King. I can't just let the characters run off and do their own thing because it just leads to bad decisions. But now I outline. I've got a journal I put together of notes. I just write all the time. And so I'll put them in and I'll highlight them, and it changes. It changes as it goes. If I write a scene, I go, it'd be better if I did this, or it'd be better if I did that. I'll tweak it and change it. And sometimes the characters will move into a different idea, and if I think that works, I'll work with that. But I'd say at the moment I'm probably more 60% outlining, 40% pantsing. Previous to that, it was definitely more like 90-10. I was 90% pantsing, and that didn't work for me.
Yeah, you've got to have some, symbol of I don't know, concrete goalposts,
If you know like the various story structures you want to work with, it gives you that subliminal kind of structure.
Yeah.
But as opposed to like locations and characters and stuff like that, I find it's better if I set them up first in my head. They do change. Especially like a lot of scenes with Xanthi. I think I went a bit too heavy in one direction with her, and I didn't like that when I read it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to delete those scenes and tweak them and change them. And what I come up with in the end with her as a character, I was much more happy with when I did the final edits. I'll tell you what though, like, there's always those moments where you can pick up your book that you've done, and it's never done. You know what I mean? In your head, there's like, I can tweak that. I'm like, no, dude. And I read that Neil Gaiman quote, like, books are never finished, they're just abandoned. And I went, that's a good time, Neil. I'm going to do that.
But being in indie, you can upgrade it at a later date because I'm slowly starting to work on the sequel to Ancora, and I can already tell that my writing has gotten a lot better. So I'm like, I have to go at some point go back and just not change the plot, not change character, but just make it a little more smoother to match where I am now. It's like why the one piece of advice I always heard from the beginning of writing was like never, don't start with a trilogy or a series, because if you're not a strong writer, you don't know, like your writing will get better.
That makes sense. When I first wrote Artful, I thought, no, this is a standalone, but I wanted to leave it a little bit open-ended with potential in case I would change my mind.
Yeah.
But without giving anything away, it kind of let me go, yep, sweet, I can advance this now. And it's cool because I daydream, as I said. I've got a fair bit of ADD. I will come up with short stories and ideas for short stories. And we were talking about The Witcher earlier about Andrei Tarkovsky's work, but he had The Last Wish was a bunch of like an anthology of short stories about Geralt, and I like that. I like picking that stuff up, so I feel like I'd like to continue do a couple of books off to the side that would be from the world that I've created that tie back into the characters that are there. So, yeah.
Cool. Lots of spin-offs, lots of adventure.
Yeah, that's it. Someone's got to like something along the way, hopefully.
That's it. So, what are you working on now? Like, are you only going to do this series? Are you working on other ideas at the same time?
I've got temptations to do other genres away from fantasy. I started writing a science fiction one years ago before I started writing Artful Young Rogues. I called that Valhalla as a working title, but don't know if that was going the way I wanted it to. And I've done short stories that were like urban thrillers. So there's ideas down that pipeline, a bit like Don Winslow's kind of writing, like the Winter of Frankie Machine style. But set in Australia. I suppose that like Mr. In Between's a bit down that kind of that path of genre. But right now, I'm just working the sequel and trying to pump it out, trying to get more of a consistent writing practice because I do get burnt out from time to time. And when I get burnt out, I just kind of go, no, I'm not going to enjoy this process if I keep pushing myself. I just got to put it aside, focus on some positivity, and come back to it when I feel ready because I want to enjoy the process. Life's too short. Yeah.
Cool. So, being a new author, what's the I don't know. How do I put it? This is our advice section, so it's kind of like maybe what's something that you've learnt that's really stood out along the way on your journey, I guess.
Persistence is the main thing. Getting words on the page. Even if you go back and change it later, I think you can't. It's funny. It almost contradicts what I just said about burnout, but you can't just wait till you're motivated. I try and put time to the side where I'll force myself to write.
Yeah.
Because once you get those first few sentences down, you find a bit of a rhythm.
Yeah.
Because if you don't persist, it just won't happen. But in regards to other bits of information or bits of advice, there's so many good things out there that I found from Brandon Sanders's lectures and from other writers as well. My fight scenes are complicated, and how to do good foreshadowing and building up attention, and how to not go too hard on humor and shove it down the audience's throat, and don't try and control what the audience members or the readers are seeing. Let them use their imagination and trust that. But at the end of the day, it's always been persistence. You can know your craft, trust your craft, but get the words on the page.
Cool. Well, it's time to play a game. This is how we end the show pretty much. With a couple of rounds of story pitch. Are you ready, Ryan?
I am ready.
He switched to audio to save internet. But
yeah, my internet's been cutting in and out a fair bit, so I had to switch to audio only.
That's all right. We can hear you fine now. Okay, so the game is called Story Pitch. We have a setting, a genre, a main character's profession, and a crazy addition. Me and Ryan have access to a graph, which is labeled, with 1 to 12 for each of these categories. So basically, you're going to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each category. We're going to tell you what they are, and then you've got to pitch us a story. You can be as in-depth or as vague as you want. This is kind of how He-Man was made.
Really?
He-Man was pitched on the spot. So this could be your next series. that you get out of this. But we have 2 rounds. The first round's the warm-up round. The second round is, the one for the money. But so when you're ready, 4 numbers between 1 and 12.
Okay, I'll go 2, 4, 6, 8.
2, 4, 6, 8. I do like patterns. All right, checking our graph. All right, so your setting. Oh, it's Ryan's favorite. It's a cabin in the woods.
Oi.
Okay, and your genre is a thriller or a mystery? So thriller/mystery.
Yep.
All right, your main character is a historian.
Yep.
And your crazy addition, which is someone or something that must appear in the story at least once, is a talking gecko.
Oh. So, Cabin in the Woods,
Yep.
thriller, historian, and a talking gecko.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is like I'm getting Evil Dead vibes
Yep.
because
Yep.
Bruce Campbell is the goat. So something along the lines of a historian who's dug up some information on old Navajo tribal drugs that could make animals talk, and he goes deep into the woods. And as he's tripping out and trying to find the depths of how far his studies will take him, the animals turn on him, and he has to survive. Does that work?
I think that worked. What do you reckon, Ryan? Does that work?
It definitely does. Like, it fits all the parameters. It's using everything that's required. I think it's definitely worth going.
I mean, I can see it. I can see like all these animals just coming out of the woods, pun intended, to attack the cabin. Like that's, and they're all talking. Like, oh, it's creeping me out already.
No, my mind just went back to Evil Dead 2. I'm sorry, lads, I just can't. And so Necronomicon was like floating around my head. So I'm like, how do I change that to make it more original?
Yeah, we draw inspiration from wherever we draw inspiration from.
And you never have to apologize for Evil Dead.
You never have to apologize for Evil Dead. Just for those playing at home, a talking gecko was suggested by our sponsor, Rebecca Kearsells.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. All right.
Can I just point out that Bruce, while we're on the topic of Bruce Campbell,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far into the novel you are, but when you come across the character of Ernesto Dubois, Bruce Campbell out of Xena Warrior Princess as Autolycus, that kind of was a bit of a background inspiration for that character.
Wow.
In my mind. Every time I imagined the scenes, it was that character kind of in my head sitting there at the table.
Yeah, no, I love Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is such good value. All right, round 2.
Round 2?
It's a new graph, so you can give us the same numbers or different numbers, and it'll have different results, but it's up to you.
No, I'll go my kids' ages. I'll go 1, 7, 10.
Yep.
And I'll chuck in a random one there, 12.
All right. 1, 7, 10, and 12. Okay, so your setting is a community radio station.
Oh, yep.
Well, we've had that one a fair bit.
Yes.
Your genre is dark comedy.
A little bit dark. All right. Your main character is a comedian.
Yeah.
And your crazy addition, which is someone or something that must appear in the story, the giant robots from Pacific Rim. So they're called Jaegers.
Jaegers, yeah.
Yo, what? I was with you for the first 3, and now you chucked in this left of field. Oh.
That's why it's called a crazy edition, my friend.
Okay. So comedian is hosting his radio show on community radio
Yeah. Yeah.
in a very remote outback town. What's the genre again?
Dark comedy.
Dark comedy. During that time, there is a cataclysmic event that causes large monstrosities to come from fissures in the ground. And his only hope is to get to a local military base that's top secret, like Roswell, where they've been working on a top secret, yeah, there you go, Jaeger suit. And he's the only hope because it's matched with his DNA, and it was his twin brother that helped create it.
Yeah, cool. So it's basically Pacific Rim, but with a comedian at a radio station.
Yeah. I can see Ricky Gervais now.
Yeah.
Getting suited up. And he's just casting slander at the was it kaiju?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it works. I'm happy with that.
Happy days.
Look at that. Reasonably quick too. Reasonably quick.
Oh, you happy with that?
Hey, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. You got your next two books there, mate. You get your next two books.
It's going to rely too heavily upon casting.
Well, thank you for that. Literally went so fast, but thank you for joining us. And behind the scenes, guys, we had to reschedule this one because the last time we tried to record it, my power went out. So
Yeah.
Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And I did say that I thought my internet was going to crap out during this one, and we got about 75% through it, and then my internet crapped out.
Yeah.
Oh, but did you hear my pitches, Ryan? They're really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, thanks for having me. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
No, you're welcome. It's a great one. I really like it.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is give you the floor to plug what you want to plug. Tell listeners and viewers where they can follow you and keep up to date with what you're doing. Anything you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Sure. So I'm Liam Porter. I'm the author of Artful Young Rogues. It's a YA fantasy series with our first book with steampunk elements. You can follow me on @writer_Liam Porter on Instagram. I just started TikTok this week, so author Liam Porter, or you can check out my website www.authorliamporter.com.au. And that's where you can buy the book if you're ever so keen.
Sweet. Well, guys, I will leave all the links down in the show notes. Please check that out. If you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. All our socials are down below. Please check out our sponsors, Rebecca Kearsells and Martin Kearns, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. Buy Ryan's shirt, which, if it hasn't happened already, is getting updated because we're getting a new logo done, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So
if you're the one person that's already bought the shirt, you need to buy it again because you need to have the latest and greatest version of the shirt.
Yes. So thanks, guys, and until next time, keep supporting those indie authors, and we'll catch you on the next episode.